What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm here in Orlando with Mr. Austin Dahan.
What's up, guys?
See you, my brother. Today we're going to teach you why you cannot build muscle with calisthenics. Let's go.
First tip is to make your exercises more stable, even if you don't need the stability. So the two main examples that I like to give is number one, the pistol squat. Standard, most people can do it, right? However, if you look at it, it's a pretty unstable exercise. So even if you have the capacity to do a full pistol squat without any assistance, it'll actually build more muscle if you have the assistance there, especially if you overload with assistance.
100%.
So now that you're more stable, you can actually reach the threshold of more muscular fatigue and thus build more muscle. Another example I like to do is the handstand push-up. Do you use the wall or freestanding most of the time?
I use the wall most of the time.
Exactly. In my training too, I always use the wall, even though I can do freestanding handstand push-ups. And the reason is, once again, because the stability factor of it, whenever you're more stable, you can actually reach that threshold of intensity to failure and build more muscle. Go back and forth, even if you want to learn or get better at the freestanding handstand push-up, do it here and there, but for the most part, train in a stable manner, and that can be correlated to pretty much any exercise that you do.
Yeah, if you're doing, for example, handstand push-ups, like you said, simply do a few practice sets so you're not reaching failure, and then simply combine that with your back to wall or chest to wall handstand push-ups, whichever you prefer. Build some muscle, build some strength, and then transfer to the freestanding. I'll see you on the second one.
Perfect.
Alright, family, the second point is going to be that you're not using the compound or the basic exercises of calisthenics. Those are pull-ups, push-ups, rows, just the basic exercises. You're probably doing too much skill work like tuck planches and handstands, which are not going to be as beneficial for building muscle, correct?
I agree. I believe everybody should have a base level foundation of exercises that are pretty basic in their muscle building routine with calisthenics. And going back to the overloading principle, my favorite thing to do is to simply overload those basics with more weight to thus increase a response in my muscles in order to build more muscle.
100%.
I've done this with weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups, pretty much any basic foundational movement that you can think of.
There is no limit.
There is no limit
to how much you can overload.
Exactly, and even more so when you get more advanced, you can actually switch up the variation to a slightly harder degree, but still overload it with weight in a stable fashion in order to increase your muscle building process.
Can you give an example of that?
Example would be archer pull-ups, weighted archer pull-ups.
Exactly.
So
just a harder variation, slightly harder variation with weight.
With weight. So yeah, foundational movements, super important in any muscle building routine.
Great tip. See you on 3.
So as you see right here, Gabo is doing multiple reps of just a standard push-up. Now, according to how many reps he actually aims for, this really isn't optimal when it comes to building muscle with calisthenics. And that's because the intensity threshold is just not high enough. If he was to change up a variation, make it slightly harder, that's where he's actually increasing the intensity, and thus from that we'll be able to build more muscle because he's getting more stress on the muscle by changing up the variation. Or even add a little bit of weight, make it a tad bit harder, right? That intensifies the exercise. So what you guys need to be doing is figuring out, how can I make this exercise more intense to my level? I like to aim around max 15 reps. If you're able to do, I would say, more than 15 reps of the progression, whether it be weight added or just the progression itself, probably should switch it up to make it a little bit harder. And then alongside with that, another intensity principle is actually training to a degree of near or at failure. So making sure that you're not leaving a ton of reps in the tank because it starts hurting or whatever the issue is. You need to push to that threshold of about near failure if you want to have the most intense workout possible in order to build the most amount of muscle possible.
How many reps should you aim to leave in reserve?
I would say minimum 1, max 2, ideally 0.
All right.
At least in my training. It's different for everybody, but I found, myself, I've had the best results whenever I trained to failure. Like I had nothing left in reserve for every set, especially the last set though.
I leave around 3 to 2, so you can still make progress there, just because I don't want to get too fatigued, and I also combine it with a lot of skill training. But yeah, if you really want to maximize, the closer you get to failure, the better. I just get too tired going to failure. Man.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's definitely intense. That's the thing. It makes it more intense. So if you can handle it, I would say why not do it.
Go for it. More muscle. See you in 4.
Now I've been doing calisthenics for about 8 years. And one thing I've noticed in regards to the time period where I built the most muscle was actually whenever I was tracking my food that I was consuming in my body.
Yep.
You ever heard of what gets tracked gets managed?
100%.
And so whenever I was tracking my weight, tracking my daily macronutrients, calories, protein, etc., I've inevitably had built the most muscle because I knew exactly what was coming in. And then from there, I was able to manipulate what was coming in so that I could receive the output that I wanted. So the point you guys need to do is if you want to maximize your ability to build muscle, calisthenics, weightlifting, bodybuilding, doesn't matter, you need to be tracking your nutrition. There are many easy ways to do this. You can use MyFitnessPal, these apps and trackers, but basically log your food and log your calories and put it in your note, and then from there make adjustments as time goes on. Have you ever had to track your calories? A lot of calisthenics athletes don't do it.
No, I have. I have in the past. I just do it for like maybe like 2 to 3 month period. Then I know based on that the portion sizes, and then I just base myself on top of that. Right now I'm doing more of an intuitive eating, but I don't have a specific goal to build a certain amount of muscle or to lose a certain amount of fat. But if I really had, I would definitely track my calories.
Exactly. I'm in a maintenance phase also right now, so I'm still doing the intuitive tracking, and I've been doing it for so long. I kind of see things and understand what goes into my body. But if you're new, intermediate, and especially in the bigger phases, if you start tracking right now and just do it for at least 3 months, you're going to see incredible changes in your physique and your body. That's because you just know what's going on. 100%. And also tracking your workouts, just tracking in general.
Just tracking in general.
Track your diet, track your workouts, you will see immense progress, I promise you.
Best tip ever.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Thank you for all those tips. If you want to check Austin's channel, it's going to be the information down in the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below what else would you like to see. We'll see you all on the next one. Peace out, family.